finally wrote that book, built that course, figured out how to solve that problem. Yippee! Now what?
You are watching Influence Media, PSI TV, the Netflix of biz brands.
Well, see this lady here? I'm going to tell you a story about this particular time that I met this lady. And what we're going to be looking at today, we're going to look at that story, what the Bible says, what research says, all of which are strategies I bring week after week to optimize your opportunity to be famous for what you do. Trudy Behrman here. I'm the CEO and host of Profitable Social Influence TV, PSI TV. I'm also pursuing my doctorate at Liberty University, and the area of study is influential reach, all of which I bring this community content, not just because I'm learning it for me, but I'm sharing it with you. So together we can optimize our opportunities to be famous for what you do. So let's get back to this lady. I won't tell you her name, but she traveled a distance to come and meet with me because she had seen me on television and figured I could help her with her problem. Also, I have a client that I recently closed. It was the easiest close of my entire career. He had been watching me on various platforms and figured that I was the one to help him. And he came to that call already educated. He knew my prices, he knew my program. And when I turned on the Zoom with his big smiling face, he says, "I finally meet you." I'm like, okay, because I was about to ask you how you heard about me. He had been binge watching my content, booked a call, and there we go. Easiest close ever. Why am I sharing all of this with you? Well, let's look at what Jesus did. So we're going to talk about what the Bible says. So here is a picture of Jesus's travels, an 8-month picture of Jesus's travels. So here it is. He's Chorazin, Capernaum. And remember that famous story when he went through Samaria because it was the easiest way to get from Judea to Galilee. So here it is. Jesus came with a message and he went about touring, going from place to place, because getting the message out is so important. When you have a solution that can make someone's life better, upgrade the quality of their existence and their joy, you need to share that message, because having that solution for yourself is almost selfish. When Jesus came, he traveled to make sure that that message got to as many people as possible. But he didn't just do that. He also created a battery of ambassadors to go out with the message. And of course, later he told us, his followers, in Matthew 28:16 verse through to 20, that we are to go and make disciples of all the nations, and baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all I've commanded you. In other words, the message doesn't stop just because Jesus isn't here anymore. It's so important to get the message out. The problem is nobody knows you. Nobody knows you yet. Nobody knows you yet. So when Jesus came, nobody at first knew him. In fact, there's a section that says, "Isn't this the carpenter's son? Isn't his sisters and brothers here with us?" So the fact is that you need to expand. I like to call it jumping ponds and growing again, because Jesus said a prophet has no honor in his own hometown. Sometimes the people who know you the best are not going to be your best audience for what you have. And Jesus traveled. In fact, he could do very, very few miracles where he came from because of their unbelief. So he did not let that stop him. He still went throughout all of the country to spread the message, built up additional followers who were raving fans, if you want to call it in today's language, and the message continues to be shared. What is your message? You've written the book. You've developed the course. You have solved the problem. You have expertise, and someone is looking for that, but they don't know you exist. You are looking for clients. You don't know where they are. Well, this is why I bring this content week after week, because it's a problem I'm not only solving for myself, but as I solve it for myself, I share it with you like a good steward would. Because at the end of the day, we're all here to support each other in one way or another. I am not going to keep this message just to myself. So that story is, when you put that content out there, you're basically planting seeds. You're planting seeds. And in biblical vernacular, that can turn into a harvest of 30, 60, or 100 fold. Or you could be like the servant who buried it and did absolutely nothing with it. So what does this mean for you? Well, TV should be one of the platforms that you consider as you consider where you're going to get your message out and about. And when it comes to TV in particular, not old cable TV as you know it, OTT, over the top television, like Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, this is the place that I play in. This is where PSI TV lives. Okay, and it is a growing media. The moment the internet merged with television, it was a game changer. Cable TV is going the way of the dinosaur. OTT is brand new open territory. So as you look at all the places that you want to share your content, TV should be one of them. So who does PSI TV serve? We serve the subject matter expert. The subject matter expert, that's who we serve. Whether you've written a book, and you're the expert on everything that's in that book. You're a coach, you're a fitness coach, you're an emotional coach, you're whatever. You are an expert in a particular topic. You are a business owner. You are the expert on the solution that you deliver. We talk to subject matter experts. That's what we do here at Profitable Social Influence TV. And when we serve you in basically, we serve you in one of two ways. Now, these two ways have multiple layers and tiers within them, but for the most part, our bread and butter, if you want to call it, is that we co-create cornerstone content with you. So when the subject matter expert comes to PSI TV, we interview them, we go through, first of all, we edify you and we elevate you to our audience. So you don't have to blow your own horn. We're going to tell the world how wonderful you are. And then we're going to ask the questions that are going to crush the objections and help the audience get to know you, like you, and hopefully trust you. So and that's a one-time experience. So, but the other way we work with subject matter experts is that you can be just like us. You can have a television channel just like us. This is where we love to jam, okay? Build the channel up for your brand on TV, and then you'll also learn how to monetize it. But basically, this is a distribution network. When you get your content, yes, you should share it to social media, absolutely, but you should also consider TV as a platform. If you have ever purchased a name brand thing for yourself, then you are absolutely saying that your brand needs an elevation of some sort. So you could just as easily buy a wallet in Walmart as you could buy a Michael Kors wallet. Why would you buy the more expensive name brand one? If you're the kind of person that would buy that thing, then you're basically saying that my brand deserves, needs, must have this elevation. If that's you, then maybe you should consider television, because it's fine that your stuff may be found in a dollar store, but if Neiman Marcus is distributing your stuff, it definitely says something different. You certainly don't have to sell as many pieces to get the same kind of income. Because before PSI TV and our services, many of you feel unseen, indistinguishable, one of many, one of the pack. But when you have a TV appearance, that's why the as seen on TV brand is so huge. Because when you tell someone you've been on TV, it's huge. In fact, when somebody says to me, where do I know you from? Where have I seen you before? And I say, well, I'm on TV. Maybe you saw me there. Even if they had never seen me on television, it is an eye opener. It is a game changer. Their eyebrows go up and they go like, really? Wow. It is an icebreaker that I cannot even begin to tell you opens conversations, it opens doors. But when you have a TV appearance, especially on PSI TV, the way we do our deliverables is not just the television experience. So most of our guests do come on Zoom. That's not the only way to work with us. We definitely can have a in-studio TV experience, but most people will have their interview via Zoom, or we have a new package out where you can create the product and send it to us. It's a more affordable version. But after that, after the interview, the way we package our deliverables, we share it. PSI TV has a presence on Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Vita TV. Then we take that content and we repurpose it to YouTube and our other social media platforms. And we have been growing our audience there. Our YouTube channel is monetized. Most of our guests enjoy 2,000 or more views to their show. Our Facebook page has 50,000 plus followers. You get the point. And we also take the content out, we repurpose it to podcast platforms. We are working hard to make sure your content gets seen by as many people. In fact, we go back and Google our guests, and we research it before you come on. And many of our guests have had the benefit of search engine juice and digital juice because of being on our show and all the links that we create around your time with us on PSI TV. So cable TV, as you know, it might be dying, but content distribution remains king. And why TV is your platform for content distribution is absolutely important. TV is the place that you should be considering to grow your brand's visibility. So, do you see this gentleman here? This gentleman happens to be my business coach. Now, when I met him, I started to binge watch his content. And at the time, he had about 40 YouTube videos, and they were all old. Today, this man has blown up. Here he is in my TV studio, and he was a guest on my show. Guys, this gentleman turned around his content game. He was always an expert at what he did. Well, he was well known in a small circle for being an amazing speaker. But the moment he changed his content game and really started to ramp up his content creation and content distribution, all the game changed for him. He is now phenomenal. He's appearing on stages with Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone and big hitters, big hitters, okay? And that is what I'm inviting you to do. Don't be a hidden gem. You are an expert at what you do, and you need to be creating content and sharing content. And one of the platforms that definitely will create a distinction for you over and above all those others in a similar space to what you do is to be on television, preferably profitable social influence TV. Now, you could also get a channel built for you just as PSI TV is, and have your content on television. It's a game changer, guys. It really, really is. And we love doing that. We love building the channels. As research says, being seen on TV gives brands a stamp of quality and credibility. Social media is free. The jokers are there. Kind of like, you know, a lot of us older folks, we're not really on TikTok. Why? The kitties and the games and the pranks and the dances, nothing's wrong with those things. And, you know, TikTok is another content distribution platform. I have a presence there, although I'm not very active, just because it just doesn't feel like in alignment with my brand. But for the sake of being as digitally omnipresent as possible, we do have a presence there. The point is, you want to have brand alignment, and when you're on TV, it is definitely a brand separation platform because you are stepping away from the others and differentiating yourself in a huge way. As I said before, PSI TV does have a channel presence on Roku, Fire TV, Vita TV, and Apple TV. In addition, we do have a presence on the major platforms, and we repurpose the content to podcast platforms as well. These are some of the many channels that we've built, and you absolutely can have a channel of your own on television and have your channel sit right beside the big boys. That is major brand elevation right there. even podcasters, guys, podcasters, it says here, despite the many benefits of launching a video podcast in 2019, only 17% of podcasters were recording video. But video is the biggest return on investment. And if you are a podcaster that's using video, guys, you're already very likely to be qualified to have a television channel. We can take you from YouTube to TV in 30 days or less if you give us everything that we're looking for. It says here, video podcasting is not yet the norm, which means it's a great way for you, for your podcast to stand out from the competition. And even more so, television is even less so. So if you're talking about separating from the pack in a major way, this is definitely the way to go. The focus of this conversation, guys, is you're an expert, make the content, make the content, make the content. When you make the content, it's like planting seeds. Planting seeds. That's how I got found by these two people I introduced at the beginning of the show. The lady who traveled to see me and the gentleman who booked himself in my calendar and was just happy to meet me because he had already binge watched my content, knew exactly what it was, what I offered. It was just a matter of meeting me to seal the deal. I never met him before, but because the content was out there, it made that experience possible. Just like my business coach, the moment he started to make that content creation and take it seriously and expand the places that content was visible, he totally blew up. In fact, he has a video out there of how he went from 0 to 41 million in not even 4 years. So that's what content creation can do for you. It's a simple matter of booking a call. The call is free. We just want to see, is TV a good fit for you, for your brand? As simple as that. And if you do decide to get a channel, it's a simple 8-step process. We hold your hand, walk you through it. All of this is to get you influential reach. If you are a big fish in a small pond, you do have influence, but you have no audience reach. Now, the influencers may have attention and audience reach, but they don't have expertise. You are an expert, and I'm encouraging you to, if you're an author, a coach, a business owner, subject matter expert, you should become the face of your brand. You should be creating content. You should be digitally omnipresent-ish. Okay, you should make that attempt. All of which means that you will jump ponds and grow again. You will go from being an expert in a small pond to being known in your city, in your state, in the nation, and maybe even globally. Well, television definitely has a global opportunity because when the internet merged with television, TV was no longer your little cable and your local television because PSI TV has a presence now in many countries of the world. So when you start to create content and put that content out consistently and in volume, you're going to be the one that people want to hear from. The first name that comes to mind for the thing that you do, the obvious choice from the pack. The obvious choice from the pack. You can go from being relatively unknown to being discovered. If this sounds like something that you should be doing, you are an expert, a subject matter expert. You've written that book. You've built that course. You've built that business. You have a solution. We need to get out there. We need to get that message out there. Some of you may need to travel from town to town, but these days with Zoom and TV and social media, traveling is not as necessary as it used to be. But the point of all of that is to get the message out there, not to be a hidden secret. Don't be top secret. So if this sounds like something that you need to do, I am super simple to find, and I do look forward to connecting.